Hey guys, this is Nod Lammers of Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today I am doing my Cyber Dragon deck profile. This is after learning what I did at Tulsa and changing up some stuff. This does have Noxter in it. I do think that this version is better than the one I took to Tulsa. I've been doing some test hands with it, I've been playing around with it, and it's a bit different. It's also back to 42. I was playing 44 at Tulsa. Now it's back to 42. The extra decks changed, the spell lineup's changed, and the monster lineup has changed. And it's subtle changes that affect a lot of the play that this deck can do. And I really do think that this version's better. Real quick before we get into it, down in the description, there's a link to our Patreon. Everything you back us with that through there goes right back into the deck profiles. We also have our Instagram and our Discord. Our general chat is open to the public, so if you want to check that out, feel free to. But without further ado, we're going to move the extra and the spells off to the side, and we're going to talk about the monsters. So, of course, Triple Cyber Dragon, I've been playing this, like, you got to play this card at 3. He's like the heart and soul of the deck. He resolves all the card effects in the deck. Special summons himself when you blind second, because this is a blind second deck. Triple Core, this is like the only normal summon of the deck, really. So what he does is he searches a Cyber Spell or Trap on normal summon. It is mandatory. And then he has another effect where you can banish him from the graveyard to special summon any Cyber Dragon monster from the deck, which comes in handy with triggering certain effects. And then for the last 3 of Cyber Dragon, 3 Hurts. And Hurts, when he's sent to grave, he searches Cyber Dragon, and when he's special summoned, he becomes level 5, but locks you into machines. And you can only use 1 effect per turn, much like Core. These are all the 3 main ones. This is your main Cyber Dragon engine right here. These are all the ones that are really good. And then Tuvir. I like playing Tuvir. I've liked playing Tuvir ever since he came out, and I'm not going to stop playing Tuvir because I really, really like him. And then lastly, only 1 Noxter. And you may think that, like, Nod, what are you doing? You're only playing 1 Noxter? He's like the best card in the deck. No, he's really not. Like I mentioned in my Tulsa video, I thought this card bricked me a lot more. Now that I'm playing what I'm playing in this deck, and you'll see how he interacts more with the deck as I get into the spells and stuff, I find that this guy's a lot better when you just search him out and use him that way, or when you hold him for like next turn. I find that that's when he really shines. Like, he just, because whenever I had him at Tulsa, I just wasn't feeling it. He just was bricking my hands because I wasn't getting anything that I could use him with. So now what the 1 copy of Noxter does is it lets you grab him when you want, because, you know, Core searches a Rhoda. There's 3 copies of the Rhoda in the deck, and like I'll talk about it when I get to the cyber spells and traps. But yeah, so he's okay at 1, and I'm enjoying him at 1. And if I really need to, and we'll talk more about him when I get to the side deck and stuff, but before I move on from him, his effect is that he becomes Cyber Dragon on field and in grave. When you can special summon him by discarding 1 other monster, and then his effect when he's normal or special summoned is you can target a machine with 2100 attack or 2100 defense in your graveyard and special summon it. But you're locked into machines for the rest of the turn. So while he is all that, and he is basically another normal summon for the deck, there is some issues mainly getting the full value out of him. But yeah, and that's it for the Cyber Dragons. Those are the only Cyber Dragon monsters I run, which I think it's 12 Cyber Dragon monsters, 12 Cyber names. And then as for the auxiliary monsters, 3 Galaxy Soldier specials itself by discarding a light monster, and then it searches itself. So just, you know, standard for Cyber Dragons. It's level 5 light machine, so it makes Nova. And then 1 Kaiju, just for the like outing boards and whatnot. So there we go. And that's it for the real monsters of the deck. And then for the other stuff, we have Triple Ash. I bumped Ash up to 3 in the main, and which means I had to take out my secrets and swap them out for my ultras, just because, you know, I wanted to rarity match them. But yeah, 3 Ash in the main and 3 Effect Veiler. No longer playing 8 hand traps. We're just playing the 6 hand traps in the main. We're just playing a Veiler because you can discard it off Galaxy Soldier, and we're playing Ash because Ash is amazing. I did want to try and fit Impermanence into the deck, but I just couldn't. So, but yeah, so there we go. And that's it for the monster lineup. So, Spells and traps. For the cyber spells, we are playing Triple Emergency. This is a super simple card. Just add one Cyber Dragon monster or one light machine that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. And then if this card's activation is negated, you can discard a card, add it back to your hand. So pretty dope card. That's the only 3 of Cyber Spell we run. Then we run 2 Rev System. Realistically, you can play 1. I actually end up sighting out 1 Rev a lot, but I also like opening it. So, because it's just a monster reborn from Cyber Dragons, but makes it immune to card effects. You can also summon the vanilla one from the hand if you have him and this, which is pretty dope. 1 Repair Plant. Well, Repair Plant searches any light machine if you have a Cyber Dragon in grave, and then if you have 3 Cyber Dragons in grave, you can shuffle 1 light machine monster from your graveyard back into the deck and search a light machine. But if you only have 1 Cyber Dragon, you either get to add 1 back to the deck or search 1, but you're usually using the search effect. Although there have been times where I use both. And the last one is Cyberload Fusion. Like I've said, I used to not like this card, but lately I've been enjoying it. When you open this card, it's pretty dope, but you only really want to open. You really only want to search this one if you open Rev System and Emergency, along with a couple other cards, and then you want to search this. But if you open this, then it's just fine, and it's just an OTK maker. That's it for the cyber stuff. For the other spells, Machine Dupe, this is like, if you resolve this, you basically have game. Like, there's no way you won't pop off in ridiculous ways when you resolve this. This card's stupid, but it's also like the best card in the deck. Triple Twin Twisters, again, went to supers because I wanted to rarity match them. Triple Twin Twisters in the main, it's just the way the format is right now. I think that this is more valuable than some of the other stuff, but I was citing the third Twin Twisters, but I decided to pop it into the deck just because I think that this might end up winning me more games, and I think it's just better going forward. And then the last 3 of is Triple Called by the Grave. This is because Cyber Dragons are a bit of a combo heavy deck, and you really need your Machine Dupe to resolve. You need Core to resolve. Hurts getting hit usually doesn't matter, but it's just certain stuff, and you need Called by the Grave to resolve, to do your stuff. And then for the only 2 of in the deck, 2 Overload Fusion. This card is pretty dope. It's mostly just for OTKs, and if you open this and this, it's insane. Like you're basically not playing Link format at that point. It's stupid. And then for the 1 of Monster Reborn, because it's a reborn on it. Like if you don't, like this could be a 3rd Rev System if you really want it to be. You could honestly just cut this for a Rev System. But I like the Reborn because it steals the opponent's thing. And 1 for 1. This card is for Hertz and Noxter, and I love it. This thing is insane because you can ditch the vanilla Cyber Dragon off this. It gives you extra copies of Hertz and Noxter, really. It's just another copy of both of them. And if you ditch the vanilla Cyber Dragon off for this and summon Noxter with it, then Noxter's effect can trigger instantly. Much like if you discard the regular Cyber Dragon for Noxter. I like this lineup a lot more. So like I said, it is a little different. Like I'm still playing a lot of the same stuff, but it is the numbers and some stuff is different. So that's it for the main deck. I really like this main deck. I've been playtesting, doing test hands with this and like just combos and stuff. I love this main deck. And it's only accentuated by the extra deck. So let's talk about the extra deck, which isn't super different, but it's different enough that the options are more there. So of course, still playing Eternity Dragon. Like I said, I put this in before Tulsa, and I haven't regretted it. Every time I've summoned this guy, he's done amazing. 1 Cyber Twin. Cyber Twin is just for attacking for game off Cyberload in the battle phase. Rampage is your overload target. You really only need 1 overload target because realistically, when you resolve the first overload, you're not going to need the second one. So, like, it's game at that point. And then 2, Mega Fleet. Mega Fleet is just to out extra deck monsters, Salamangrates namely. And then Fortress. This is either for the mirror match, this is for Sky Strikers, because against Sky Strikers, this is a 3rd Mega Fleet. And it's also for the Kaiju, so like you can out a problematic monster with the Kaiju and then fuse it into the Fortress. That's it for the fusions, we'll just set them back there. And then for the Xyz, we're playing Double Nova. Like I said, this is really super standard. Nova is like one of the best cards. At Tulsa, I actually like pulled off the Nova OTK against like 2 people, and then I would have had it if they didn't ash me. But yeah, Nova OTK is like honestly one of the best OTKs in the deck, and it's amazing when you resolve it. 2 Infinity just to slap on top of both Novas, and then 1 Constellar Pleiades. So I've been talking to some other Cyber Dragon players about different stuff to put in the extra deck, because the extra deck space is pretty tight for Cyber Dragons, especially nowadays, and I don't like cutting. I like having 2 options for Cyberload along with a option for Nova if my opponent is an idiot. And then I was talking to one of my buddies about Cyber Dragons, and he was like, what if you put Pleiades in there? Because if you activate, if you have Pleiades on the board and you go first and they normal summon, you bounce it with Pleiades, what are they going to do? They can't really do anything at that point. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I put Pleiades back into the deck. It's been quite some time since I had him in the extra. And then after that, we have our links, which is double Zeger. I know some people only play 1 Zeger. Realistically, you could play him at 1. I don't often make the second one. So if I find something that I like, I will cut the second Zeger if I find something I like. But right now, I like the 2 Zeger. 1 Cleafort Genius. Cleafort Genius was an MVP at Tulsa, and he's been a very useful card in my extra deck ever since, so there's no way I'm going to cut him. And then Summon Sorceress. Summon Sorceress is dope, just helps you extend and gets you the 3rd Galaxy Soldier, because usually how you get to the main board that this deck can make is you use double Galaxy Soldier, and then you summon the 3rd one off of this. I know some people don't play the 3rd one, but I like playing the 3rd one as the Summon Sorceress target. Cleafort Genius, unaffected by spells, traps, and other Link Monster effects, so, you know, it's not shrunk by Shizuku, I think, is the Sky Striker one that shrinks. So you have that going for you. And then you also can't Widow Anchor him. He's like honestly the best Link monster to summon against Sky Striker, just because you can just swing over it and he's untouchable by them. So that's realistically why I like Cleafort Genius. And then, but yeah, I like this extra deck a lot. Like I said, it is a little different. Namely, the Pleiades is what's different. Which is where my Cherries target used to be, and then the other stuff is kind of stuff I've been playing for a while and just testing out with. But I really like this. I think this is the most solid extra deck I've got so far for Cyber Dragons. That's it for the main and extra. We're going to go into the side deck now, and I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I picked because I've learned from Tulsa. Alright, so my side deck, I start with 3 limiter removal. So the reason I'm playing 3 limiter removal is for the True Draco matchup. True Draco is still a force to be reckoned with in the format, and Cyber Dragons do have a tough time getting over some of those monsters, and limiter removal makes it more possible to get over those. So that's why I'm playing limiter removal in the side. And then 2 Dino Wrestler Pankratops. I wasn't playing this in my side deck originally, but now I'm playing him because he outs Floodgates. He beats all. It hits Altergeist stuff. It hits, and there can only be 1. It hits some of the True Draco stuff. It's mostly just there for a tech choice and getting rid of the Floodgates. Much like the because it can also hit anti-spell, which is something that unless you have the Twin Twister in your hand, it can do. So it's basically just more copies of Twin Twisters to pop annoying back row. And then 2 Noxter. I'm playing 2 Noxter in the side just to see how I like it. He might just go to 1, and I might just side the second one because you don't need 3. Like, especially like maybe in the OCG you need 3 because a lot of the OCG Cyber Dragon decks play 3. But honestly, I'm comfortable playing 1, and I haven't had an issue with it so far since I altered the deck. And then 2 Scythe and 3 Sanctum. Like I said, you know, like I've played at Tulsa, this card was a blowout against certain decks, and I really, really liked it. This is a level 5, and it's a light, so you can make Pleiades with it if he stays on the field after your opponent's turn, which is really nice. And that was one of the big reasons I added Pleiades as well, is because I was like, Scythe is a level 5, I'm a level 5 deck, I should be able to utilize my Scythe more. So, as well as being a stun card, it also can become an Xyz material for Pleiades. And I play 2 because if I draw 1, then like I can trigger it off Twin Twisters on my opponent's turn, and so it's one of those things. It's just like so I don't brick essentially, unless I draw like both of them in Sanctum. But if I draw both of them, then I can just like set them and wait. But yeah, the 3 Sanctum just to summon the Scythes, and then 3 Evenly Matched. This card is a blowout against certain matchups. True Draco I used it against, and I've also used it against Salamangrates. I've used it against Altergeists. it's a really good card, and it's insane. Like, Evenly Matched is like one of the best side deck choices I have. But yeah, so we got some stun choices, some pop choices, and it's not really stuff that lets me go first anymore, aside from the Scythe and maybe the Pankratops and limited removals, but now it's more what's best matchups. So yeah. If I were going to cut anything, because like I said, I mentioned impermanence, I would cut 1 limiter removal and 1 Noxter for 2 impermanence, and I think that would be a pretty solid side deck. And that might be better, because honestly, limiter removal at 2, you're still going to see it about as much as you see at 3. But yeah, so that's my side deck, and that's my updated Cyber Dragon deck after, you know, learning what I've learned at Tulsa. I really do think that this deck has improved, and I like this build a lot more, because like I mentioned, it's back to 42 in the main, and the extra deck is has a new utility card that I can use when I go first, if my opponent makes me go first. And I think it just utilizes all the stuff in the deck more, including this guy. But yeah, so tell me what you guys thought about this deck in the comments below. I really do enjoy this deck, and while you're down there, feel free to check out the description. It has, like I said, a link to our Discord, where our general chat is open, has a link to our Patreon, where if you donate to us, everything goes back right into the deck profiles, has our Instagram down there, and then, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.